Alright, class. So this is the final prep for C++ Fall 2017. If you are familiar and comfortable with all of these things, then you can go have a good Thanksgiving. Otherwise, if you'd like to stick around, I will be going through these one by one. So let's get started. I've got family of my own coming over soon enough, so I will want to get through this as fast as I can too. But that's the beauty of video, is that you can pause this. So I'm going to create a variable. That's not crazy, is it? So I'll create an int ship damage is equal to 45, and a string ship name is equal to the Valkyrie. I think I spelled that all right. And we can create a Boolean, which is a true or false thing. Ship is turned on. Ship is powered. It's equal to true. And we could have a float. Distance from home is equal to 3.14 f in light years. What other kind of integers could we have? What are the kind of variables? Int, string, float, boolean. We could have characters. Initial? Ship initial is equal to, well, we can call this one input. Input is equal to, and we'll do a single quotes for a character. I'll just make it always say yes. What other kind of variables? Oh, no, that's probably good for now. So if, else if, this is chapter 2, I believe. Okay. So if the ship is powered, and again, you don't need to say is equal to true. It might make more sense to you if you do that, and it's fine if you do. And then we'll add ship damage plus plus. That'll add 1 to ship damage if the ship is powered. Let's see. Okay. We could add else if statements. Well, not for a Boolean. An else statement is either, a Boolean is either true or false. So if the ship is powered, it'll say the ship is fully powered. If the ship is not powered, ship damage is equal to 0, because how's it going to shoot anything? Does it run? Ah, there you go. Okay. We could probably have an if. So the thing about if statements, so if ship is powered is false, we could have an else if, and we could say if distance from home is less than 0.2 f, then we'd say calling for help. We're close enough to get help. Okay. And then finally we could have our else statement. If this is false and this is false, this will run. If either one of these two things are true, they will run. Sorry, if this is true, nothing else will run. If this is true, this one has to be false first, and then that will run. Okay, that's if else statements, nothing crazy. There are lots of different operators. You know, cout 5 plus 5. We could probably have a little space there. And then 25 minus 12. We could say things like if 3.14 is equal to 3.14, cout. Hey, let's just use a couple of and statements here. And true. Cout. This is a nonsense statement. So this is your AND operator. Anytime that you have an if statement and a test inside, you're always going to be using double signs. I guess that's not technically true. You can have an else if 4 is greater than 5. You can also have if 5 is greater than or equal to 5. If distance from home is greater than or equal to 5. You can have nested if statements. So that this thing can be true, but the thing inside could be false. So there's also, so we used the plus sign right here, ship damage plus. We could also say ship damage minus equals 5,000. And that would subtract 5,000 from ship damage. It's exactly the same as saying ship damage is equal to ship damage minus 5,000. So these two things are the same. So a switch statement is a way to, it's just a different kind of if statement. You could write if and then else if and then else if and then else if forever. A switch statement is a little bit simpler. So essentially you have switch of a number. You can do characters too, I believe. But we'll do numbers. So case 0. And then you have your cout. This is the statement. Yeah. For 0. Make sure you always break. If you don't have that break statement there, the code will continue going from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So 1, 2, 3. And you'd have to have int number here and cin number. And probably tell the user what to do. Please enter number between 0 and 3. Two. Okay. Also remember when you're building a switch statement to build a default statement in case they enter something else like 7. There you go. So that's a switch statement. Sometimes you can shorten things up. And that can make things look real pretty and simple. Up to you if you want to do that or not. It still runs. There you go. Okay, that's a switch statement. A random number is going to require 2 more include statements. ctime and cstdlib. So the first thing you need to do is seed the random number generator with srand and time of 0. There are other ways to do it. That's the way I choose to do it. And then we can say cout, here's a random number. And if we hit run, there's our random number. Let's go ahead and build a for loop right here to show off more random numbers. Int I equal to 0. I remember a lot of people had issue with the 100 random numbers on the midterm. And the issue they were having was that they didn't set the random number. I plus 1 rand. Oh, need a space. They didn't generate the random number inside the for loop. So if we run this, there are my random numbers. And another operator we didn't talk about was the modulus operator. If we wanted to constrain this number to a certain range, we could say random number modulus, there it is, let's say 1,000. And then to make sure we didn't get a 0, we'd add 1 to that. And we'd hit run. And here are our numbers. None of them. There's 928. That's the highest so far. 964. Nothing over 1,000. Nothing under 0 either. If we wanted to say a number between 500 and 1,500, we would say 1,000. Or let's say we wanted between 500 and 1,000. We would say 500, and then we would add 500. So the number would always be at least 500 and up to 1,000. So 6. Oh, there's 997. That's about as high as it's going to go. 529 is the lowest. Yeah, so nothing, no number is below 500, no number is above 1,000. So that's a for loop. That's also random number generator. Notice it's different every time, even though it ran all very quickly, which is good. That's what we want. Global variables. Global variables are outside of any function. Int main is a function, so we will put this above int main. We'll say total ships killed. I'll make sure to initialize it with 0. So this is the variable type. This is the name of the variable. And then this is us initializing or setting at the start what the value of total ships killed is. Should we say destroyed? It's more awesome. We can also have another int total distance traveled equal to 0. And then we can call it just like a regular variable, total distance traveled plus equals 10. Should we say it's in light years? Okay. You shouldn't see anything different. There's the random numbers. Okay, so here's one. So maybe I want to have 3 numbers, or 1 and 2 on the same line. So 1 and 2 on the same line, and we have 2 columns going up to 25. And I should probably make it just like an even 20. I can say... I'll get rid of the end line here. And I'll say if I modulus 2 is equal to 0, then cout end line. Let's see if that works. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Huh, something's not working right. Oh, there's my 3. My 3, my 5, my 7. It doesn't really work on the 1, does it? Let's say and I does not equal 2. Oh, there's another operator you need to know about. It's the not operator. So if I modulus 2 is equal to 0 and I does not equal 2. So that first time it should do what I want. But I'll go ahead and make sure to have a... We're getting three spaces? Yeah, that's good. Oh, that totally screwed things up. If I is 0... Okay, so here's me totally messing everything up. But essentially there's one way for you to add multiple columns, and we could change the number of columns to 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should just get rid of this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, you get the idea. Wasting too much time there. Having too much fun. For loops. We did that. DoWhile loops. DoWhile loops are good for when you need to ask a question and test at the end. While input does not equal no. Make sure you've got your semicolon at the end of the while loop. So do cout. Please type a single letter. Cin input. Please type a single letter. F. Ah, man. A. Z. Whatever these letters are. This will keep going until I type an in. And then that will close. There you go. That's a DoWhile loop. If you had just a while loop, you'd have to put this outside of the while loop, above the while loop, and inside the while loop. And it would just be a bummer. So, code smart. That means code less. So arrays. Let's make an inventory. Why not? String inv with a size of 10. And then we add, that's our array right there. It's it holds string objects. Its name is inv, and it has 10 spaces inside of it. There's enough space for 10 string variables. And then we can access these by saying inv of 0 is equal to pistol. Inv of 1 is equal to knife. Inv of 2 is equal to canteen. Inv 3, you get the idea. And computers count starting at 0. So 0, 1, 2, that's the third item. There you go. You could even go further. What item are you looking for? Type a number. In number. Remember, we made number already. And then we say cout your item. Well, we'll just say, what are we going to say? Number. And then period. And a space. And then we'll say inv number. No. What item are you looking for? Type a number. Number 1. 1. Knife. Well, that's the second thing in my list, isn't it? So number plus 1. And inv number, what do you think? -1? Let's see if that gives me what I want. So I want the first object in my list. 1. The pistol. Ah, give me a 2. So I guess this one here should just be regular. Okay. What about the fourth item? You get the idea. That's not an inventory. Alright. Here's vectors. Vectors are fancy. Here I'm at 111 lines of code already. Sheesh. Vectors. So we create a vector, and then we put the type inside angle brackets. We'll create a vector of strings again. We'll call this one favorite games. We can use a collection initializer like this, and we can type Half-Life 2, comma, space, new string. So that's the first string is Half-Life 2. Second one, Dishonored, comma on the outside. Third game is Stalker. And then we'll close that and we'll semicolon and we'll say cout. And in this way it behaves very similar. Fave games of 1 is the second item. And there's Dishonored, second item. We can also use an iterator. I think that's part of the requirements up here. Freaking iterators being difficult and confusing and stuff. Still useful. So we say vector string. I don't remember the name of that operator right now. Iterator. What do we have? Change iter? Change iter. We can call this anything we want. A lot of people are just going to call it I and be jerks about it. We'll call ours change iter. If you need a constant iterator, a read-only iterator, it's the same thing here, but you add the word const. I think underscore as well. Let's make sure. Oh no. Oh, maybe read iter. Yeah, okay. So const underscore iterator. Anyway, I don't need that. And then we can use our... We can say that change iter is equal to favegames.begin. And now change iter points to... what's the first item? Half-Life 2. So favegames 0. So if we did cout change iter, oh, so many errors. Line 120, no match for operator. Change iter. Aha! I'll bet we have to dereference this. Whoops. Let's try on asterisk to dereference it. Cool. 2, no, 3. And there's change iter. We can make it more explicit. Change iter equals. Change iter equals Half-Life 2. And that's all that's happening. This is the dereference operator. We should probably write that down in our operators too, huh? So many operators. Dereference operator and the address of operator. Whew, we've been doing this long enough. 31 minutes. I'm gonna stop here and take a break. Get some